Our last speaker before our intermission is Mark Mervine. Mark Mervine grew up in Sterling Park when jams and mullets were regular sightings in the halls of Parkview High School. He enjoys bicycling of the non-roadie type, yes? And he earns his keep money by spending his weekdays pecking on a keyboard and pushing papers. One of his favorite and most repeated quotes is, "It's all about the story." Thank you, Mark.
I'm going to use this mic since I'm a little short. My story starts a couple years ago when I was 22 years old. It was 1995. I decided I was going to go rollerblading. Nice sunny day. Go out my front door, go down my street, make a turn. Whoop, whoop. I hear a police officer behind me. I stop, and he lets me know it's illegal to rollerblade on a public highway. I said, "I wasn't aware of that, sir. I am so sorry." He says, "You're going to need to take those off and walk home." "Yes, sir." I walked home, and he followed me to make sure I walked the whole way. So when I get home, I said, something about that just wasn't right. So I called the Virginia State Police, because there was no internet back then, and I said, I need to know the law. Can you help me out? Officer on the phone says, "Absolutely." A couple days later, in the mail, I get his business card, and I get the section of law that speaks to this type of thing. I read it, and it says, you're not allowed to play is a key word, and you're not allowed to rollerblade on a public highway. Highway is a key word, right? Play and highway. Got it. How can I beat this law? Okay, I got it figured out. Fast forward a couple weeks later, I go out my front door, I go down my street, and I turn the corner. Whoop, whoop. Would you believe it? The same police officer pulled me over, right? He says, "Son, you look familiar to me. Did I already talk to you about this?" I said, "Absolutely, sir. I am on my way to Parkview High School to the baseball game. This is my mode of transportation, and I'm on a secondary street, not a highway. What's the problem?" After a heated discussion that went on for way too long, he decided that he needed to write me a ticket, and he did. He then began to handcuff me when I refused to sign the ticket because he wrote the ticket so that it was on a highway, not on the secondary street, which was legal. I didn't know the law in that part, right? So I pushed the envelope until he got one cuff on, and he goes to ask for the second hand, and I said, I won't, let's not do this, right? I'll sign the ticket, and I'll see you in court, right? Fast forward a couple weeks later, I'm in court. I show up, I'm wearing the only suit I had at that time, young guy, right? Unless somebody dies, nobody I knew was getting married at that time, so that's my only suit I'm wearing. I get up there, I got my stack of papers, I got the business card from the Virginia State Police, right? I'm feeling really good about this. Officer, of course, shows up. Don't they never show up when you don't want them to show up, right? Well, he showed up, right? He was a veteran guy, been around for, I think, like 20 plus years at that point. Everybody seemed to know him. The judge starts off with, what do you have to say, officer? And he pleads his side of the case. And then she comes to me and she says, Mr. Mervine, what do you have to say? And I said, well, this is a very simple case. Like I told the officer, I was going from A to B. It was my mode of transportation. I was on a secondary street. Here's the law. Here's the section code. The word play means this. Here's the definition. I went through everything, right? I had it all out, right? I felt really good about this. And the judge was, oh, wow, okay, all right, good. And then, she said, okay, anything else? Absolutely not. I'm done. A couple things I learned during that exchange. One, if you're going to use the definition of court of law, you can't use Webster's dictionary. So she corrected me and let me know it's got to be Black's Law Dictionary. Got it. Noted for future times I'm in court. And she also wanted to let me know that I couldn't address the police officer directly because I had a habit of kind of saying, sir, right? So a lesson learned there, understood, right? And so then she says, again, are you finished? Absolutely. I think I'm done now. Got it. And she says, well, everything's dropped. You are free to go. And I said, wow, really? That's cool. And I said, all right. And I start shuffling my papers. And then she turns and looks at the police officer and she says, oh, sir, I did not dismiss you. I want to let you know that, you came into my courtroom. You were clearly not prepared. You didn't have any notes, documentation. You presented almost nothing to me to review. You wasted the court's time. You wasted this person's time. A mockery of the law. She went on this whole long list of things, and I'm just over here starting to feel really good now. Like, wow, this is kind of working out for me, right? This is good. And so I kind of, turn around when she's done, and I, thank you, Judge. Go through the little swinging doors as I start to walk down the aisle, right? I hear little people start to clap, right? And next thing you know, I hear cheers. Like the people in the audience are cheering for me, right? In this moment, I'm like up here in cloud 9. I'm like, thank you everybody down there. This is great. Best day of my life getting this ticket, right? And then I hear the judge, right? She's banging her little gavel. She's like, everybody, order, right? Oh, I'm sorry, right? Quickly, I went from up in the clouds to, that's right, I'm in a court of law, be respectful, march straight, right out the back door, let's get out of here, right? So I have a ticket, right? It's framed. I still have this ticket. It's in my house. It is my reminder, right? Every time I see this ticket, and I'm not kidding, it is the only one at the time that anyone's ever gotten for rollerblading in Loudoun County. I'm sure someone else has never gotten this ticket, one of a kind, right? But it's a reminder, be prepared, right? So I'm an Eagle Scout, and the Scout motto, right? Be prepared. And I'd say, yeah, whatever, sounds pretty cool. Here it is, right? I was prepared. I went to court. I made a veteran police officer look bad, made me feel good. And I got a standing ovation pretty much going out of the courtroom as a reminder. And it makes for a really good story.